welcome to this FrostBound devlog. Today I'm going to walk you through what's in our 0.3.0 demo build, and what parts of the build are groundwork for the larger game. This demo is focused mostly on the tutorial slice of the experience, but it should give you a clear taste of what the core loop is and what we're building towards. Speaking of the game loop, let's start with the basics. In FrostBound, you play as an apprentice doctor stuck in a remote snowbound clinic as winter refuses to end. In this demo, you're essentially playing through what will become the tutorial day of the full game. So you'll see the shape of our intended core loop, which will look like the player answering knocks at the front door, the player then having to decide who to admit, who to treat, and who you might have to turn away. And the player would also have to examine patients, gather their symptoms, diagnose those symptoms, and then eventually treat them. Future builds will expand this into a multi-day play with more conditions, more choices, and bigger consequences. But for now, you're just getting a guided look at that structure. Speaking of patients and the illnesses, our illness system is mostly, at the moment, groundwork for future updates. So you won't be seeing a whole lot of those illnesses, or the differences between the illnesses. But there is a lot more of a complex web of illness and symptom trees that are going on in the background. We've built an NPC random illness assignment system. Every NPC that would spawn at the front door, they'll get assigned a random illness like influenza, frostbite, bronchitis, and each of them with different severities. Most of that will show up in later versions, but it's here now as the foundation for when we're eventually scaling up the number of patients and illnesses available in the game. A huge part of FrostBound is talking to people and reading between the lines. And for that we use YarnSpinner to handle all of our branching dialogue, and we've set it up in a way that lets us reuse a lot of the structure while keeping each NPC feeling distinct. Under the hood, we have reusable skeleton dialogue nodes that any NPC can plug into, driven by illness keys and body part lookups. That's mostly internal, but what it means for the player is more NPC variety without us needing to write entirely separate scripts for each and every single NPC that we might create. So in this demo, you'll go through a tutorial sequence with the doctor who walks you through asking about symptoms, examining different body parts, and using the diagnosis manual instead of just trying to have to guess through everything. We're aiming for a tone that's a mix of clinical, strategy, but also a bit unsettling. The sense that the world outside the clinic isn't quite right. Inside Yarn, we've also added some custom commands so that dialogue can trigger specific sound events. And in this build, that shows up primarily as door knock events that fire at specific lines. So when someone says they're at the door, you can actually hear it. The goal is for the weather, the house, the visitors to all feel like they're, coherent in the world. We want to create a quiet atmosphere of winter with an undercurrent of unease, something maybe watching you beyond the windows of the clinic. We've also done some first and second passes on some small in-engine cinematic moments. There's a unique Yarn command that triggers an enemy cutscene that is, it's tied to the story, so I won't spoil it too much, but if you play the demo, you'll know when you see it. Mechanically, though, that includes spawning an enemy at specific times, short camera movements to draw your attention to where that noise came from. Next, we have interactions, or player interaction, which is primarily just our doors at the moment, beyond interacting with NPCs. most exciting thing that we have is our doors. To wrap up our 0.3.0 release, the focus here is on tone, the tutorial, and infrastructure, the systems that support a much larger loop of patients, illnesses, and difficult choices. All of that will become available in later updates, later releases. But if you check out the demo, we'd love to hear what you think. Any perspective is useful in this stage of development, and we'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Anything at all would be helpful to us. So yeah, thanks for watching, and from all of us here at the FrostBound team, thanks for playing.